Well, there's a big jolt to Manish Sisodia. He will stay in jail for 6 months as the Supreme Court has denied his bail request. The Supreme Court has said a money trail has been established, and the complete trail has been established over 6 months. And citing that a money trail has been established, the Supreme Court has now denied bail to Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia in the Delhi liquor policy case. Earlier, the Supreme Court has reserved its verdict on this bail plea earlier this month. In fact, Mr. Sisodia had sought bail in 2 separate cases against him, one that was filed by the CBI and the other by the Enforcement Directorate. But now he will stay in jail for 6 more months. Citing that a money trail has been established, the Supreme Court has denied bail to Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia in the Delhi liquor policy case. Let's go across to my colleague Vedant, who joins us with the latest breaking news information. Vedant, what details do you have for us?
Well, Parmeshwar, as you pointed out, it comes as a big setback to Manish Sisodia and, of course, Team Kejriwal, as, of course, Manish Sisodia was one of Arvind Kejriwal's closest aides, and now he will be in jail for the next 6 months. That is perhaps the biggest headline coming out of this particular verdict of the Supreme Court. So after 6 months is when Manish Sisodia can actually apply for bail. So for 6 months, effectively, he will stay in jail. Of course, as you rightly pointed out, the Supreme Court has said that a money trail has been established. Now, just to break it down for our viewers very quickly, what the ED had alleged essentially that there are hundreds of crores of kickbacks that the Aam Aadmi Party allegedly got from a South cartel, and that was directed towards the Aam Aadmi Party's poll campaign in states like Goa and Punjab. Remember, it was both the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate that was probing this particular liquor policy case, and Manish Sisodia was questioned as an accused in this particular case. Now remember, just to remind our viewers, Manish Sisodia was initially accused number 1 in CBI's FIR. He was one of the prime accused, and after that he was questioned by the CBI and also the Enforcement Directorate. So the Enforcement Directorate, of course, is probing money laundering allegations. Now remember, the Excise Department, which essentially took care of the liquor policy, was headed by Manish Sisodia. So he was the Excise Minister of the National Capital when the entire liquor policy saga actually played out in the National Capital, where the government essentially withdrew from its initial liquor policy and brought in private vendors, which is when the Delhi LG initially in a report had alleged that this is essentially to benefit the government, and the government had also reported an over 25% rise in its revenue as well, and the government had essentially said that, well, in this entire liquor policy case, the government's exchequer has benefited, but that benefit is not to the government but to the party, and that those funds have been directed to the poll campaign of the Aam Aadmi Party in states like Goa and Punjab, as I had pointed out. Now, several Aam Aadmi Party leaders are facing the heat as far as the liquor policy case is concerned. In fact, in the latest development, what comes as a big jolt to Arvind Kejriwal, of course, is the fact that the entire party has been made an accused in the liquor policy case. That was the latest development. The Enforcement Directorate itself, in fact, had made the entire party an accused. In fact, Sanjay Singh, who was also arrested, of course, he is a witness. He is not an accused. But what's very important here to point out is that Manish Sisodia will stay in jail for the next 6 months. In fact, he cannot apply for bail for the next 6 months. It's only after 6 months that he can apply for bail. In fact, several lower courts of the national capital, including the Saket Court, the Patiala House Court, several courts had heard various bail pleas by Manish Sisodia. In fact, Manish Sisodia had also cited, as you pointed out, Parmeshwar, his wife's health condition as well in this regard to get bail, but multiple setbacks. But this really comes as a big jolt, because the Supreme Court was really the last resort for Manish Sisodia, and now the Supreme Court has said that a money trail has been established. So in fact, it was a top bureaucrat of the Excise Department who allegedly got these kickbacks from the South cartel, and Manish Sisodia, who was heading the Excise Department, was allegedly involved in that money trail. In fact, he was at the helm of affairs as far as that entire corruption case is concerned. So now a big jolt. The Supreme Court also says that the money trail has been established. So it remains to be seen what the Aam Aadmi Party's legal recourse to this is, because perhaps this is the end of the road as far as the legal recourse to this entire case is concerned. Because remember, Earlier, when the lower courts or the trial courts had denied, bail, the Aam Aadmi Party went to the High Court, and finally the Aam Aadmi Party went to the Supreme Court, which has now said that the trial must be completed in 6 months. So that is also important. Manish Sisodia may be framed in this particular case as well, because the top court has now said that within 6 months the trial must be completed. So Parmeshwar, a very important development there politically as well. Let's not forget the politics of it. Of course, the legal aspect, which I just broke down to you in terms of the kickbacks allegedly received by the Aam Aadmi Party, this sort of nexus between the top bureaucrat, the excise department, and of course Manish Sisodia, that the Aam Aadmi Party being made an accused, and of course politically, because remember, this is a time when Arvind Kejriwal is also looking to make inroads in various states, including Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. I mean, it's quite fascinating actually to see Aam Aadmi Party announce candidates for all seats in these small states where the party has not even contested once. And at a time when Arvind Kejriwal is looking to make these inroads, this comes as a major setback politically also for Arvind Kejriwal. Will he be able to wriggle out of these corruption charges in a crucial election year? Crucial state elections are months away. Of course, the Aam Aadmi Party also claims itself to be an important member of the India bloc as well. How that plays out, of course, the BJP will rake this up in a major way. Remains to be seen what the political fallout of this is. But for now, no bail for Manish Sisodia, and Arvind Kejriwal's closest aide will be in jail for the next 6 months, Parmeshwar.